Hello, everybody. Mr. Pace. Thanks for stopping by. Well, race fans, voter fans, and residents of Woodman Hills, I'll tell you what. Next door is a blazing. I've gone over all this stuff, and I want to thank the other individuals who are now running for the board. I want to wish you two well. Actually, there's three that I know of, and I want to wish all three of you the best of luck. I really do. And hopefully, with a new mindset on a board, we can start moving forward from the same old of the last 10 years. Let me tell you what's going to happen. What I'm hoping doesn't happen is you get attacked personally and professionally. And I'm going to see to it that I can do the best I can to stop that. I won't get into that now. I posted it on my website. I have read information about something about a certain person on Nextdoor. We all know who it is. It's called an arch nemesis, okay? And let me make something really initially clear about something before I get into the first 30 days. When people are saying no, I say yes, okay? The naysayers have already done and decided what they're going to do with these rec centers. And when someone says, we already had the money, that is not true. They had to budget in the extra $500,000 and raise the fees to collect that $500,000 to fix the rec center. Just read the financials. It's already been decided. Don't let someone come out there and tell you otherwise. I read the documents. They're here, 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 there, here, over there, full of my file cabinets and electronically everywhere you can think of. Why am I dangerous? I'm dangerous because I don't go out and just talk about the stuff. I back it up with documents that I have here, okay? And that's what makes me dangerous to them because they know I have them. So what do? They come out and say this and that and that and this, but it's only one person doing it. Notice how it's the same person defending everything Woodman Hills is doing? We're the board members. Where are you? We're the constituents. You're our elected officials. How come you're not putting out your take on this? You should be. The absence of a response clearly shows that you don't want to interact with us. So it is the us against them mentality. Here's the issue, okay? And I want to make something real clear about the Park and Rec. Years ago, they imposed these fees, and they were predicated on documents I literally picked up at the county today, showing exactly why those fees were imposed and what they were going to be used to pay for. I have the physical document recorded. It was signed by a gentleman by the name of Mr. Hooper, the then president of the Woodman Hills Board. That will tell you what I know. Right? Now, Mr. Hooper still lives here, if I'm not mistaken, over there, and that's fine. But you need to understand how they have a right to do that. They can do what they need to do. But here's the issue. The fees were predicated on a service plan and why they needed to bill you a certain amount. What they did is they rolled that debt into intergenerational debt. I don't believe in that, okay? That's how your fees are going skyrocketing. Then, instead of paying the debt down with all the fees they were bringing in, they rolled it into a savings account of $4 million. That wasn't given out of the kindness of anybody's heart. That money was collected from us, and then it was supposed to be used to pay down the debt. That's how the service plan works. You don't amass $12 million of unrestricted cash and still carry a balance. The money was supposed to be earmarked to pay down debt. Why it wasn't paid down? Why don't you go ahead and ask Mrs. Pitsy why that didn't happen? I wasn't on the board. I've never had a vote. I know if I had that kind of money to pay off the $2.8 million debt for the Park and Rec, it would have been paid off. Because you know what would have happened once it was paid off? Pursuant to the agreement signed back in the day, the fees would have dropped. Big time dropped. Exponentially dropped. Way below what you're paying now. Okay, let's go on to something else. We're paying for the services that should have never been cut off. That building shouldn't be closed. The doors shouldn't be locked, and there should be attendants there. You're paying for it. That's also in the service plan. Okay? So I just want to let you know, okay, that's something that would be undone immediately. Done. Fixed. Okay? It's a TV room and a game room. No longer, but there was never a change to the service plan, so that building is still what it is, and as it's designated for. Shouldn't be locked. Because you know what? It's not supposed to be. Excuses about why it's not open? I don't want to hear it. You're collecting that much money and claiming that you've raised our fees for operational expenses. Aren't operational expenses operating the buildings? You bet it is. If elected, fixed. Okay. Mrs. Pitsey cannot defend the indefensible. So just let it go. Okay? You might as well pound your head against that wall. Because that woman is capable of anything. And I'm not the first person to say that about her. Okay? When you know what I know and what I've been through, we're not going to get into it because you already know about it. Okay? They shouldn't have done anything without our input, and that's the way it should have been. The board shouldn't hound a round-robin meeting for 5 or 10 people to show up. You put it out to everybody, surveys and everything else. Then you make a decision. I know about how many people made that decision, and it was less than a handful. That's not fair to everybody. But if that building isn't open and they can't keep it open, citing whatever, then how do you explain spending more than any other enterprise in salaries if you can't keep the building open and there are people there from 12 to 1 or 12 to 4? As a person in these things cited, you're right. Buildings should never be closed. We're paying for them to be open. But yet, as in the study, it showed clearly you're going to increase the operating costs exponentially, and then that means what? You're going to have to raise the fees to do it. Okay? Just the way it is. Okay, first 30 days. First thing we're going to do is open up transparency by putting out all the information about the audits, books, financials, things even up and above what we have now, including intergovernmental agreements and things that are talked about. We will not censure meetings. Okay, which means if we talk about it, it goes on the minutes, it's approved, it gets posted. Blog, Woodman Hills blog, gone, done. Okay? Number 2, going back to the old management style of not having directors, but people that report to a manager. Okay? We only have one director who's calling all the shots. That's not how it was set up. Okay? We can't even keep directors here anymore because nobody really wants the job. And the manager who is a manager, well, my opinion of that is posted on this website. All right? Meet and greets. Genuine meet and greets. When you walk in that door, hi, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. What can we do for you? Well, no, you don't need to sign that agreement. We want your kids and you to keep your legal rights. Agreement out the window. Rewritten. Why? Because the statements made about it having to be done pursuant to the insurance company, these would be the insurance documents. Don't ask me where I got them from. Nothing in there says that they have to sign that agreement or is a requirement of the insurance company as stated in the letter from the district. False. Okay? Guess what they have? Government Immunity Act. That protects the district. Also, you have the 1992 Voter Rights Act. That's going to come into play. So I want to also get rid of the hostility at board meetings. Open them up. I want you to bring your camera, your recorder, and your video camera. I want you to get in my face. I want you to ask me the tough questions. We need to resolve it. 3 minutes, gone. Because if something is that important to you, it should be important to us. Regardless. Okay? We're there for you. Yes, we're a pay-through agent, and the boards work on behalf of the bondholders and the financiers. Guess who those people are influencing the elections? Those people. Okay? Gone is that mentality. See, once you get rid of that mentality, you'll see things change immediately. Hostile employees, gone. Non-responsive call requests, gone. Open board meetings where you don't tell people where to put their cameras and put their tape recorders. No. If elected, I want you to bring this camera like this, your recorder or anything else you need. I want you to put your tape recorder right on our table because I don't want you to miss a syllable. You got a question? You have to interrupt the meeting, say point of order or raise your hand. We will recognize you. That's what we're there to do. When you don't recognize us, yeah, it's a quick way to basically tell us you don't care. Meetings will no longer be held at inconvenient times. 10:30 in the morning is not a time to say, we want you at a board meeting. We're going to find the most convenient time for you to show up. It may be on a weekend. If that's something we need to look at, it needs to be looked at right away. You vote us in, we work for you. We have to pay the bills, but we still work for you. If we have to bump heads with the financiers and everybody else, that's our job. This is our community. It doesn't belong to the clique. We're going to fix that. Okay? Number two, we're going to get rid of the communications people. Don't need them. We can do it on our own by communicating. I know. Far be it for me, right? Also, on my website, that's been called fake and everything else, and I've been called all kinds of things by all kinds of other people, keep doing it. Doesn't bother me. But here's the funniest thing. Once you start undoing the I don't even know what to call it, the era of none of your business and make it our business, it becomes our business. Pay for fee service. It can be done. Don't listen to someone tell you it's $300,000. It's not. No. They wanted to put that number out there to make you think it does. No, it doesn't. Actually, the board can come up with the stuff and then give it to the lawyers, have them approve it, and then take it over and have the county commission look at it and say, yes or no, up or down. We can fix that. Now, the biggest one on the block, okay? Okay? I don't think that we should have that kind of money in the bank and owe that kind of money. If that money was earmarked to pay down the debt and they were taking it from us to do that, I either want to do one, give it back in a rebate, or pay down the debt. Because each enterprise is separate and each one of them carries its own debt. That's what you need to know. That's a fact. It's in the service plan. That's what they voted on. So if the park and rec debt is 3.5 or 3 point whatever the number is, okay, you take that number, add the penalty, and pay off the debt. Once you do that, then guess what happens to the park and rec fee? It goes down. It's in the documents. It says exactly what it was for. It was explicitly done intentionally. So much of every single payment was supposed to go towards just doing that, paying down the debt, but it didn't. I can't tell you how much money was wasted in rolling over the debt into intergenerational debt, as one of the studies specifically says, intergenerational. I don't want my kids and grandkids paying for the mistakes of the others or blaming someone else. Blame yourself. Okay, the person on here trying to defend all these actions is the person that was on the board that signed for those bonds that caused this to happen. I don't agree with them. Let's make it easy, okay? We're going to give this district back to the people, and we're going to make it about us and not you and your private meetings, your secret conversations, your tape recorded, pass it around the room actions, not going to happen. 10:30 in the morning board meetings, out the window, gone. Surveys, real surveys. We all know we want to fix this, but why don't you tell them about all the money that was collected over all those years that was supposed to be used for maintenance? Over $200,000 a year, not including the CTF stuff. Guess what? More than enough to maintain these buildings. The $500,000, they voted for that. Let me explain. You shouldn't make a budget and then find a way to spend up to that budget. That's not how it is. You make a budget and then you spend it. If you go over it, then you account for it. But you don't create a budget of whatever you need to do to justify what you're spending. That's not how it works, and that's not how Title 32 says it's supposed to go. The money that we're using to remodel this stuff, and the person doing it says, I don't get paid, I don't care if you do or not. You were hired. You also said that you weren't on here. That's not true. I have the meeting of the minutes. Okay? Consultants of this district should have experience, should know what they're doing, and should at least be certified in consulting, or at least have at least a minimum of 5 to 10 years experience consulting. Nepotism. Bye. That's enough. Okay? And if your family member's on the board, you shouldn't be working here. If your mommy's running the show, you shouldn't be working here. And that's just the way it is. So, I love all the comments on here. If I do get elected, I would love to work with all the people that are now going to be running. I would so absolutely enjoy it. Okay? We're going to give the district back to the people who pay for it. And we're going to fix some of these problems. And if someone says that they can't do it or we're not going to, ask them, why can't you? How come? This is our community. It's not yours to do with. And stop blaming everybody else for the mistakes of the past. You were on the board and you had a chance to fix it, and you basically told everybody to take a hike. I can prove that, okay? We're done with this, okay? We're going to start having people that actually want to be here, work for us, and not make it so hard. Also, I want to hire in-house staff counsel, cut that cost, and hire in-house engineers and cut that cost. That's it. Also, fee for use. I believe in it. If you don't use it, you shouldn't have to pay for it. Why burden someone like the people that are retired that can barely do it on a fixed income? By the way, had you used the money in the bank to pay off the debt to begin with, we wouldn't be discussing that now. So why don't you ask me about those documents, because I found them and I picked them up. Thanks for stopping by, everybody, okay? No more. We're going to take this district back one way or the other. And they know it, I know it, and you know it. And hopefully you vote for people that you think will actually do something for you. Also, removal of the DEO. I think it's about time we had the county do our elections to kind of get away from the biasness, because, well, I know some things that I won't talk about on here now, don't I? Okay. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to vote. A lot of good men gave their all so you have those rights. Please honor them by voting, and it doesn't matter who you vote for, just vote.